Today we're going to talk about shadowing. And before I show you the slides, I just want to show you an example in NetBeans. So here I have a class, student 3, that stores the instance fields name, tuition, major, and GPA. And we learned to write constructor. So I'm going to start writing my constructor. And let's say I'm going to write a constructor that takes the string name. And the purpose of this constructor, of course, is to store the name of the student. So I'm going to say name equal to name. Okay. And we're going to look at that in a minute. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a student. New student. And I'm going to call them cat. And what I want to print is the name of the student. This should be 3. So name plus x dot name. And when I run this code, I will find that the name cat did not get saved. So I'm going to student x and trying to get their name. It's not saved. Cat didn't get saved. So I need to go and trace back why is the name not being saved. So when I go to the constructor and I see that cat was there and I click on name here, you see that NetBeans tries to help us, and name here is highlighted in yellow. Those two names are highlighted in yellow, and they are both referring to the string name that is being passed in as an argument. So basically all I'm doing is saying that the argument that's passed in, which was cat, I'm going to set it equal back to cat. So I'm saying cat equal cat. That's what this line is doing. So why isn't it referring to the name up here? So when it was n, things worked fine. Now this n is referring to this n, and name is referring to the instance field. Why is it that when I said name, now it no longer sees the name that is an instance field? This is called shadowing. So if you think about it, like we said in RAM, every method has its own place in RAM. So if I have the student 3 here, student 3 has instance fields name, tuition, okay, and each one of these has a place in RAM where it's starting to store stuff. The constructor is taking a variable called name. And so in the RAM space allocated for the constructor, there is name, and it's given the word cat. And so inside the constructor, when I say name, I'm always talking about this name. This is the variable that it's going to see. This is the variable that's closest to it. So if I just say name equal to name, I'm just basically going to that variable, RAM space, and saying set it equal to what name is. Well, it's cat. So I'm erasing cat and putting cat back. That's all I'm doing. It's not letting me see the one up here. We call that shadowing. It's as if this variable name created a shadow and it let us not see the name stored in student 3 in the instance field. So how can I say I want to refer to this one? How? So there's a keyword called this, and this is a keyword that makes an object refer to itself. So when I say this dot, I'm referring to myself. Just like down here, when I say x dot, I have an object that I'm referring to. And when I say x dot, I will get all the fields and methods that are in x. So the same way here, if I want to refer to myself, if I'm in any method and I want a way to refer to myself, I can just say this. This is the name of the variable that refers to myself. So now if I say this dot name, that means I wanted the name that is stored in me. And so now it's looking at the name that is up here. It is now looking at the name that is being passed in as an argument. So this is called shadowing, when you have a variable that is given to, like basically an argument that is given to a method, and it has the same name as an instance field. It's hiding it. So it shadows, it creates a shadow. It doesn't let you see the instance fields. How do you fix it? You append the word this anywhere you want to refer to the instance field. So if I wanted to refer to my major, I can say this dot major equal to undecided. Now here it's not important for me to put the word this, because even if I said major equal undecided, it's still referring to the major that is up here. It's in green, and if I highlight it, it highlights the one that is in the instance fields. So for major, it's not important because there is no shadowing happening. But with name, it is important here that we put this dot name because the name here is being referred to the variable. So if I want to refer to my instance fields because I want to save something in it, I have to append the word this. That is called shadowing. Okay. And this is the only thing that I'm going to talk about today. I want you to kind of absorb objects and classes. So here what I did was I assigned a classwork assignment that will help you kind of practice writing more code with classes. It will also ask you to use the random class, which we learned previously in a previous chapter. It's very important that you break up your code into modules, into methods. So when you're writing your code, ask yourself, how can I break this code up into methods? And then after you do this classwork, there's also an assignment, a programming assignment for chapter 5.